Oi, you know what time it is? You're tuned in listening to Dry That Aussie Metal Guy. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button so you don't miss any of his content when it drops. And remember, stay brutal, you mad dogs. Roof!
G'day, how you all going? It's Dry That Aussie Metal Guy here with Crank.com. So tonight, wherever you are in the world, it's a great pleasure that we're getting to have a chat with the legendary Chris Boltendahl of Gravedigger, who are due to celebrate their 45th anniversary in 2025. Still bloody as good as ever. Their latest album, Bone Collector, does drop January 17th of 2025 to kick off a really big year for you guys through Raw, which is a subsidiary of Reigning Phoenix Music. Thank you so very much for joining me, mate.
Yeah, hey, how you doing?
I am very, very good, man. This album absolutely bloody rules, man. Nobody does classic traditional metal like Gravedigger, man. So it's really good to chat to you. And you are celebrating the 45th anniversary, man. What does that mean to you as a milestone and as a band?
That means a lot, man, because it's a long history of the band, and how it is an anniversary brings you back to the beginning of the band, and you start thinking about what happened in your life. And I had this experience of so many funny things. Also some sad things, but there are so many funny things. Ever talk in the last interview to the guy who asked me what came into your mind, what comes into your mind when you think about 45th anniversary? And I think yes, when I remember the first times when we recorded Heavy Metal Breakdown in Berlin, there was two German countries, you know. It was West and East Germany, and we have to travel from West Germany to Berlin through East Germany. And there were on the highways there was this rest places, and you could board their very cheap beer, you know. And we put all this beer in our truck. Yeah, we bought it for 10% of the price you paid in West Germany, and brought it to Berlin into the studio. Drinks the whole day, yeah, 3 weeks long, and make a music beside, and then drove back to the same place, bring all the beer that we missed in Berlin into the truck and to the rehearsal room in West Germany. That was really funny times.
Yeah, it's a crazy time thinking back on then. That was huge for me. I'm 44. I remember that like during my childhood being talked about, and The Wall was an absolutely massive album for me as well. But Bone Collector is the 23rd studio album. Kind of what inspired the direction of the themes for album? Because you just kind of were talking the classic there. Kind of it's kind of like you're channeling some of that classic stuff as well with this album, kind of going back to celebrate us both. So tell me what inspired the direction and themes for you, man.
I think to make Bone Collector was something where we tried to bring back a bit of the spirit from the 80s. When I met up with Reigning Phoenix Music, we said, okay, the tag for that album is old school. But what means old school? Is old school dead music or something like that? No. What I mean with old school is to bring back a bit of the spirit of the 80s to this new album. And also, it's the first time we didn't use any keyboards on this album. And to bring back the spirit means for me to get out the essential thing of Gravedigger, to with guitar, bass, drums, and vocals, the very simple song structures, and a kick in your face production, not sounding old school, but the vibe, you know, the spirit of this old records we try to bring back to the Bone Collector.
Yeah, it's an absolutely ripping album. The singles off of it were Killing Is My Pleasure and Kingdom of Skulls. They absolutely rule. Tell us a little bit about those singles you've already released off the album.
Yeah, Killing Is My Pleasure is it's a very funny song in some parts, you know, because it's a song about Robert Kuklinski. He was a mass murderer for the mafia in the 70s, 80s. He killed more than 200 people. And the ironic thing is that he left his home with three children in the morning, and like a 9 to 5 job, killing people during this time, and come back and reading books with his children, and and fucking his wife as
I
well.
know Tales of the Iceman, or something like that, wasn't it? They'd done a really good. I watched a really good documentary about that. Hey, the
Yeah,
way,
yeah, I saw that. That is really, really great because it's so weird that the guy has this kind of job, killing people and living a normal life beside. Yeah, that is another story on this album is Whispered of the Damned. But this background is more, yeah, bringing back German history. You know, that a guy I'm talking about was a commander of the concentration camp in Auschwitz,
yeah,
living beside the concentration camp, like in a normal house with a normal family, leaving his house, killing thousands of people during the day, and then coming back
back.
and celebrating family life. That is uh,
It's
that
crazy
is
how they
weird because you have
disconnect,
to
how
split that.
people have that disconnect. Like as me and you, we sit here and we're like, wow, it makes some good
Yeah,
music. But then you think, like, how do these people have this disconnect to be able to do that and then switch off and go back to their day-to-day bloody
yeah,
life? I couldn't do it,
yeah.
hey.
That is not understandable, you know. This is it's weird,
Yeah,
more than
the world has no place. You can never. There's always a lot of themes and influences you can go to for music and songs and that. Tell me about some of the other themes, influences, and kind of stuff that inspired you for the creation of this album.
normally. I write some lyrics like horror stories or funny, ironic stories like The Graveyard Kings or Kingdom of Skulls or The Bone Collector. The Bone Collector is represents the song itself, represent the band as it is now in the year 2024.
Yeah.
The chorus is so yeah, so cool. I think he's a bone collector, a grave dictator, death protector, and then you don't fear the bone collector. When I told that to the guys in the band, they said, "Hey, are you sure you can do that? The death protector and grave dictator?" And say, yes, if somebody can do it, it's Gravedigger, because we used these cliches like a very long time, and I'm addicted to this stuff, and I love to write songs about that.
Yeah, and then you do mention Bone Collector. It does quite evoke quite the vivid image, and it's got a really great cover to it. Tell me a little bit about the story behind going with the name of this and why it's kind of went with that one.
Yeah, because we have the Bone Collector is more or less our mascot, the Reaper, you know.
Yeah.
But we have the Reaper album, we have the Return of the Reaper album, and I don't want to call the new album the Comeback of the Reaper or something like that, you know. So we try to find something which similar to the Reaper, and then we came up with the Bone Collector, and the cover is it's AI, you know. I use it as a tool and to work with that. But at the end, we did some retouches, a lot of retouches. Also, the Brazilian artist Wanderlei Perna did a lot of retouches for this one. But we got a big shitstorm when we came up with that. That we said, okay, we used AI as a tool, and you, wow, have to pay your artist, blah blah blah, you know. And I say to myself, hey guys, don't listen to fucking Spotify.
Thank you. That's exactly what my next line was. You got to pay. It's funny, these all these people sitting there. You got to pay the artist. You got to do the right thing. And I was
Yeah,
just talking to Simon about this. That we okay. We've got streaming. You've been around. And you've seen the state of the way the music industry's gone over so many years. And look, streaming's here to stay. We can't take that away. But we also need to be able to find like Simon said, we need to be able to slice up the pie a lot better so everybody gets paid, especially the artists for what they're doing. And I'm I just really feel deeply about that, especially for guys like yous with such a great album. You just work so hard to make it, and then it's kind of like, here's my album, and then you got to tour your asses off just to be able to get in and get the next one done, or at least pay for that one you just made.
yeah, because with CD sales and vinyl, you have less money from year to year, and people start streaming the stuff more and more. And yeah, the artists getting paid really well for their productions. And on the other side, okay, we have the merchandise, we have the shows,
Yeah.
but we are missing the income for the records itself. But anyway, People are complaining. There's some kind of complaining tourism in the internet, that people waiting for some shit they can complain on. And
But
yeah, for sure. And see, when we grow up, we had never the chance to say to Rob Halford or somebody else, "Oh, your song is really shit, or your cover is shit, or your production is shit," or something like that. When I met Rob Halford 2 years ago on the Wacken Open Air, I had a small talk with him, and I told him. He said, "Hey, Chris, you are the singer of Grating," and I said, "Oh, I'm so honored that you notice me as a singer from Gravedigger. When I was young, I was in the first row at your shows, and I touch your fucking boots, you man, you know." And I was one of the biggest Judas Priest fans ever, and I'm standing there with my idol, and I would never had in my head. I know they made some records. I was not I was not familiar with, with the Turbo Lover, and I need 1 year or 2 years to see the quality of this kind of album. But I had not in my mind to complain about that. And nowadays you are releasing something and people giving you a hell of a shit, and complaining about this and this and this and
I remember this line, Glenn Benton, when I had a chat with him, he said, it's like people going into a restaurant, getting a fine steak, eating the restaurant, not having to pay for it, getting up and complaining about the fucking thing. Just take the album, shut the fuck up, and don't be a keyboard warrior about it, really.
uh, yeah, Dyside, because they have the same shitstorm when they released the
Yeah,
last album. The cover was also AI.
I know. That's
So
why.
they got or Gary King. They start to compare these covers, and oh man, this is totally bullshit. They take it. They can say, "I don't like it." Yes, I don't like the cover, or I like the cover, but not know finding some stuff in the cover. I made this or this. And fucking, this is my artist freedom.
Yeah. It's an absolutely bloody great album. I really enjoyed the track. Where was it? I had Made Madness, I think it was. No, Mirrors of Hate. That was the one. I had that one. I was just cranking that one just before we come on there. Tell us a little bit about that track.
Yeah, you remember a band called World War III from Los Angeles? It was they were really famous in the 80s. The singer was Mandy Lyon, a German guy who went out from Germany to Los Angeles and made a band. There was also Jimmy Bain in the band, Winnie Appice, and I don't remember the guitar player, but it was also a famous guitar player. And they had an album out, and there was a song called "Love You Till Death." And this guitar riff was so amazing, and we took it as a some kind of inspiration for the song Mirror of Fate, and that is the story behind that.
Yeah, I love the tell us a little bit about the lyrics and the lyrical themes on that track because it just has this really cool you tell me.
Yeah, Mirror of Fate is something you destruct yourself, and anyway, everybody has this part of in it, and to do something against yourself, and people learn to live with that inspiration you have in your mind. But there are also a lot of people get into depressions,
Yep.
when you look into the mirror and start hating themselves, and that is a song about that.
Yeah, need to turn that around. People start loving that person in the bloody mirror. Have you got a track off the album that stands out for you? And I know as a musician, it's like picking a baby and it changes week to week. I know as someone who listens to albums, my favorite songs change week to week. But what week is favorite track is it this week for you, mate?
Yeah, but on the other side, mirror of fate, you can start loving yourself. But if you start loving you too much, you're fucking
And
Nazi.
narcissistic.
No, yeah, yeah, narcissistic, and you have to find every time you have to find a balance in your life, and that is very important.
Doesn't that also pushes you to kind of be better sometimes? I know as an artist, like I hate hearing myself and even stuff like this, and you're probably the same, but it also drives you to be a little bit better because you can get a bit nitpicky. But is there a point where you go, enough's enough, or do you pick being doing the production side? Do you pick at it too much, or do you go, nah, that's it, or you know what I mean?
Yeah, at the end, I worked in my career. I worked with so many people who loved themselves more than anything, you know.
Yes, yes.
And that is the best example is our last player, Axel Ritt. He loved himself more than anything else, you know. And to representing his body on stage, he loves his body. He makes pictures like a fucking TikTok queen, you know. And, but anything, I have no words for that. I would never. I don't use Instagram only beside of Gravedigger, and I'm in a good balance with myself. And if I have people who don't have this, it's very for me. It's very hard to work with, you know.
Yeah.
And on the other side, now I think we have a good balance in the band now, and we see how it will come up over the years. But in the moment, it's really stable.
Yeah, well, you got Tobias on board now, and he's absolutely unreal. How has the addition of him kind of influenced the band's sound?
Yeah, he's totally old school, you know.
Yeah.
When we were on the beginning of the year, we made this 70,000 tons of metal in the Caribbean Sea, you know, and this cruise ship. And when you are breakfast or taking dinner in the evening, there's always music around, heavy metal music. Always where you are, there's heavy metal music. And and you can always ask Toby, hey, which is the band? Yeah, this is this band from this and this album. He's like a living dictionary of heavy metal. And he has so many CDs and vinyls at home, and he's a real fan, you know. He's a Gravedigger fan, he's a Running Wild fan, and he's so old school. And I love his attitude, playing guitar solos, and yeah, I think it's a great addiction to the band.
Yeah, yeah, I think so as well. It's absolutely bloody unreal. The album does drop January 17th. It is the 45th anniversary for you guys, 23rd studio album. Have you got things planned for the year? You probably got a massive year planned. Nothing like
Yeah, the plan is to play so much live as we can. And we start on the 16th of January here in Germany with the first show for the new album. Going on tour with Victory, it's also another legend. So Herman Frank, and I'm totally excited for the tour. So let's see, man. And we have a lot of shows next year and festivals all around the world. And yeah, I think it's a good celebration next year.
yeah, and the vinyl looks absolutely bloody unreal for someone like me. I absolutely love the vinyl. There's nothing like the sound of it. You must be pretty happy that vinyl's kind of come back because you
Absolutely.
just can't beat the fucking sound of it. And us metalheads are still going out and buying merch. I know we are because I do it, and you see them at shows doing it every bloody time.
Very good. Yeah, yeah. I think that is. I also wearing a Motorhead jacket.
Yep.
You know, you see it here. It's a very special one. So I'm also a metal fan. You know, and metal fan, musician, and I can understand. Perhaps that's the reason why we good uh, playing the music after so many years because you are a fan. You grow up with this kind of music and you love this music. And now, as a musician, I have to the possibility to show the people what's in my fucking head. Oh, I understand heavy metal.
Yeah, it's an absolutely ripping album. Everybody go out, grab the latest Gravedigger album, Bone Collector. It does drop January 17th, so chuck in some pre-orders for Christmas. Chuck them in the little Santa sack there. Chris, do you have any last words, shout outs, thank yous, or anything else you'd like to add in there, mate?
Yeah, I'm so happy because I hope people love it and see what the amount of work we put in this album. And I love this album, and I think people should love it too. So yeah, heavy metal.
It's an absolutely bloody ripping album. Everybody go out, grab some Gravedigger, chuck it in the stereo, crank it up really bloody loud because what the neighbors are going to want to hear it too. Cheers, mate.
Thank you, man. Have a nice day.
Oi, you're tuned in to Jai That Aussie Metal Guy, so make sure to hit that like and subscribe button so you don't miss any of his sick content. And remember, stay brutal, you legend.